State EV charger rebate programs can sometimes be more of a hassle than they're worth. Looking at state programs, we run into this quite often where we get looking at it, and sometimes the value of that rebate just doesn't work for what's required when it comes to level two charging. So what happens in level two charging, there's a lot of different requirements and standards that are being brought into EV charging in general, from the ISO 15118 and things like that, that sometimes when you try to push that down onto a level two charger, it increases the cost. That it could double the cost of that charger. So it makes things way more expensive. So make sure when you're looking at your state programs or somebody's telling you about a great state program that you really understand what the requirements are. So looking at state programs, okay, we talked in the previous video about the electric company, utility company programs and all that. Today, we're just diving in a little bit into state programs. There are many states out there that have programs. Probably about 50% of the states have some type of program going. And many of these are in the form of a direct cash rebate, where you put the stuff in, you do what you're supposed to do, you pay for it all, submit your receipts in, and they'll send you a check back. Okay. Then there's others like New Jersey like Georgia, Oklahoma, and a few others that offer tax incentives that, can be just as good. Georgia, for instance, has a 10%. So you get a 10% credit for every dollar you spend on EV charging. Oklahoma has a much better program. They give you 45% as a tax incentive. So make sure you're looking at understanding what these programs are that are out there. Some of them even have little add-on things. I think there's a program out there that if you participate in some publicity events and things after that, they'll give you even some additional incentive money. So make sure that you're checking into that. These aren't quite as easy to find sometimes as those utility ones. Right? You're looking for utilities, go to your utility website, you'll typically find it. On a state level, these can come through different programs. They can be at the Department of Commerce, they can be Department of Tourism. You can find them in like the Department of Energy. I recommend starting in Department of Energy. That's typically where these things tend to originate from. But then just look elsewhere. But again, Google's our friend here. You can always, put in there, find out what's available, find out everything about it. Even your Chat GPT or one of those can help you with that as well. So there's a bunch of programs out there on a state level. Again, these have different ways of participation, different things that are required. So make sure that you read up and understand what's going on. Some of them are going to require you on a state level to register as a state vendor and get in their program and submit everything, and then, get approvals, and then be careful on what you have to submit back to make sure you get everything submitted properly and timely so that your rebate gets approved as well, because we don't want to miss a deadline and find out you're not going to get your money back. And then also, one last little tip on this, like I said in the beginning, watch yourself on what they require, okay? And make sure you talk to your installer on to that they're going to actually meet that, right? And maybe even check with your rebate program to make sure, because there's unfortunately companies out there are going to tell you, oh yeah, you'll qualify, they'll put their stuff in, and then you won't get to qualify. So we want to make sure that, we're paying attention to that we know what we're doing. We know that our vendor is doing the right things. So make sure you're checking into that. Also, make sure you ask them, what's it cost to participate in that program? There are states that are requiring that these chargers be ISO 15118 ready and all these things already, today. And that's something that's really down the road as far as, in a ubiquitous thing. So it's kind of putting an undue burden on that package for now, which wouldn't be bad if they were paying more money, right? But if they're only going to give you $1,000 and the cost to upgrade the equipment is going to be $800, and then you're going to be stuck with reporting to them quarterly for 5 years, right? You got to start thinking about, like, what is this really worth? Okay, because sometimes it's not really worth the amount of money they're giving you. So make sure you check on that. Exactly, don't get yourself in a position that you're just, you're following the motions of somebody leading you down the path, saying, put this in, you'll get this, and here they are charging you $3,000 more for a charger because you're going to get a $4,000 rebate, right? Like that, you only saved $1,000. You paid more. So let's be careful what we're doing there. So again, you want a free assessment? We're here for you. Just go by stayincharge.com/EV rebates and check our things out there. We got some information and a little form you can fill out, and we'll help you. That's it for today. I hope this information helps you better understand EV charging. See you next time.